Welcome to Cornerstone Horsemanship. I'm Greta Cummings.
And I'm Sheri Billings. You know, I was just looking on my phone.
Yeah?
There's another person looking for a farrier.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Everybody's looking for farriers, and then they complain because they don't show up, or, you know.
I hear a lot of people say, my farrier won't call me back.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
do you have a problem with your farrier?
No, my farrier always calls me back. If he doesn't call me back, he text messages me. And so, you know, but when I talk to him, he kind of tells me stories about some of the stuff that happens to him.
Yeah, mine too.
And you know, if you have a problem with your farrier not returning your phone call, or maybe just not showing up when they say that you're not going to show up, you might want to look at why.
Yeah, the why is a big thing. You know, like we just shared, we don't have problems with our farriers calling us back or showing up on time and all of that, but some of the things that I make sure before I ask anybody else to touch one of my horses, whether it be the farrier or the vet, and especially a student, but another professional for sure, before I ask them to work on that horse, I want to make sure that horse stands well for them, is comfortable for them. And if I have a horse that needs some help, I let my farrier know ahead of time. I said, hey, this horse has this problem. They're not confident with giving them your feet, but their feet really need attention.
Well, one of the things that we got to remember is the farrier has to pay his own insurance. You're only paying him a little amount for just that one horse, and that one horse could put him out of commission for months.
Yeah, that's one thing that one of my farriers has said to me is when he started, you know, he took one bad accident and put him out for, like you said, months, and he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to keep his family going.
No, and it's not their responsibility to make the horse stand for them. It's really us as horse owners to make sure our horses are quiet enough or they understand what is expected of them. It is actually part of the horse's job to stand for a farrier. And if they kick out or pull a hoof away or bite, you know, those are all things that the farrier really doesn't sign up for.
Yeah, because the one thing that we have to remember is the farrier is there to work on the feet. They're not a trainer. They're going to be a good horseman. They should have some skills in that aspect, but they're not being paid to train the horse. And that's our job as trainers if somebody brings us a horse, but it's also your responsibility as an owner to make sure that they're still comfortable with those feet.
I have my farrier tell me all the time, you know, I told so-and-so that they need to contact you because their horses just don't stand. So they just got in the habit of calling the vet at the same time and sedating them. And I was like, gosh, every time you have to trim a horse, you have to sedate them? And he goes, yeah, he goes, because I'm getting to the age now, I'm not going to fight with a horse anymore.
Yeah.
And he goes, one good tumble for me could be a broken wrist, broken arm, and that puts him out of commission.
Yeah, and we'd be so sad if we lost our farriers.
Oh, geez. I rely on my farrier and his knowledge. You know, I found a farrier, 25 years ago. He's been still my farrier for 25 years. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can to keep him. I keep him on a 6-week rotation, mainly just to keep him.
Yeah, to stay on the schedule. They're at my barn every 6 weeks, and
if my horse is needed or not.
Yeah, really, that's what it is just to stay on the schedule because they get busy. If I have an emergency, a tossed shoe or an abscess or something, when I call them, a lot of times it's like, well, it might be a couple days, and just, you know, it just depends on how things are going. But I mean, they stay busy. Also
remember, their only pay, and the only thing that they have to pay, their fuel, their insurance and everything, is your paycheck, what you give them. So make sure you're prepared to pay them at the time that they come out to transfer. If you have several horses and he spends several hours there, he or she spends several hours there, you want to make sure that you're capable of paying them that day. I know that that's also something that he's told me. Because sometimes I have to wait for my money, and I have to sick my wife on him, and it's like you don't want his wife sicked on you. So.
No. But yeah, that's another important part is, they're offering a service. And just like when you go to the store, you don't expect to take your groceries with you without being prepared to pay. And same thing with them is they're offering a service, and they do it as a livelihood. And, they're part of our world. They're a very important part of our world. And so, yeah, we want to make sure that they're well paid.
And don't forget about us. We have a program. We have a program to help those horses. So often, I say, oh gosh, I could spend 2 hours and probably fix whatever that problem would be. But, people just don't think about that.
Yeah, exactly. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you.
And the horses you ride, from our barn to yours.